No proof of medical negligence against Dr. Kafeel Khan. He was not involved in corruption. He was not related to the tendering process of oxygen. The Gorakhpur hospital tragedy. Why I wrote this book? That should be the first question, because everybody knows my story. What is the purpose of writing this book? So let it put it down. There are 7 reasons I would count. First and foremost reason is my story. All my story is in bits and pieces. Nobody knows how my family has suffered. So I have just compiled my story with my suffering, my whole family. The second reason I wrote about this book, even after 5 years of that tragedy, nobody talk about those 80 families. 63 kids and 18 adults died that night. Just because government didn't pay 68 lakh rupees. Just because the health minister wanted 10% commission. The fourth point is, I wanted to highlight the media role. How the mainstream media, who made me hero, Masiha, Farishta, Savior for 48 hours, and suddenly in the studio sitting in Delhi and Mumbai, they started screaming, 70 बच्चों का कातिल, 70 बच्चों का कातिल. I have also talked about judiciary. How they give dates and तारीख पे तारीख मिलती रहती है. I have also talked about prison. As Silas sir has said, I have given the red card. I think it was a smaller hall where I was staying in Gorakhpur jail, and there was only one toilet with more than 200 prisoners, 180, 200 prisoners. And the nearby barrack, there was a ex-minister who is staying in a single barrack with TV, cooler, bed, and 4 people to serve him. So if you have money, you can enjoy it. You can't not enjoy it. You can have good time in jail. But if you don't have money, you are a cheap slave. There is no human right in prison. And most importantly, I have written this book. And the trigger to write this book was April, May 2021, the tsunami, corona wave, second wave, when the elite class, the metros, Delhi, Mumbai, Bangalore, Ahmedabad, Kolkata, Lucknow, Kanpur, the elite class who always think that health is a commodity, they can throw money and they can get the best medical facilities. They also have to struggle to get back medicine, oxygen. They have to die. In Delhi, we have seen in one fire, 4 bodies were burned. In UP, poor people, they were forced to throw their parents, their mother, their father into the river because they could not buy that. Yeah, good. The Kabristan, there was 24-hour waiting periods in graveyards. So it was horrible. And government came up with saying that there was no death because of shortage of oxygen. So it was like an acute deja vu situation for me. What I witnessed in those 54 hours in BRT, I saw the whole India suffering with the same shortage. So I have started my book with the judgment of Allahabad High Court. We are at pain in observing that non-supplying of oxygen to the hospital is a criminal act and not less than a genocide. So these are the 7 points. That's why I wrote this book. This book is published by Pan Macmillan. no Indian publisher was ready to publish. They had so many restrictions. Yogi ji wala part hata do, to ye part hata do, to ye part hata do. But this is a British publisher, and they agreed to publish without cutting. This is the truth, and only truth, the full and unvarnished truth, with evidence. Now the second question comes, that when Dr. Kafeel was the junior most doctor, why the whole government machinery, went behind him, and how I become a scapegoat. For me, I think it's because they wanted to save those real culprits who are responsible for the medical oxygen supply system. These are the few letters I have published here. This letter is written on 6th of April 2017 to the Honorable Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath Ji Maharaj and to the Health Minister Ashutosh Tandon. Give my money back, otherwise I'll stop oxygen. 5 months before the incident. He has written similar 14 letters to the authority. This letter you are seeing on the left side is written on 9th of August 2017, just 24 hours before the incident, and it's clearly written, if you don't give my 68 lakh rupees, I won't be able to supply liquid oxygen. And this was handed over personally to the health minister, and same day Yogi Adityanath visited BRD Medical College on 9th of August 2017, along with the Home Health Minister. The Pushpa Sale, who was supplying this liquid oxygen, has given an affidavit in the court that they wanted 10% commission to clear his dues. So just for 6 lakh rupees, 63 kids and 18 adults died. Now, initially they wanted to bury the whole incident. They came up with the lie that August में मौतें होती रहती हैं. As sir said, 0.5 they counted kids in numbers. On 13th of August, Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji sent a central government team headed by the then Health Minister J.P. Nadda with a team of doctors from Satyajan Medical College. When they came to Gorakhpur, Yogi didn't allow them to go alone. He also accompanied them. And when I was called in that meeting, in front of J.P. Nadda sir and few selected media people, I will just read that para for you, if you allow. The chapter is Hero to Villain. Unsuspecting of what was to come, I entered the cubicle where the VIP stood and greeted everyone. I had imagined that I would receive a pat on the back, but instead, I was met with a pin-drop silence. Everyone simply stared at me. The Chief Minister stared at me, ignoring my greeting. He was fuming. His face was flushed. He was angry. तो तू डॉक्टर कफील है? I said yes. I acknowledged. I was disturbed by the way he was addressing me with the pronoun tu, because tu और आप में बहुत फर्क होता है. I could tell something was not right. तो तू सोचता है सिलेंडर लाके तू हीरो बन जाएगा? देखता हूँ तुझे. तो तू सोचता है तू सिलेंडर लाके तू हीरो बन जाएगा? देखता हूँ तुझे. That was the message not only to me, to the J.P. Nadda also, the health minister. Because if the report goes wrong, the CM has to resign. That was the perception. So to save himself, to save health minister, he needed a scapegoat, and he found one. And in the same hall, few media personnel were there, few selected media personnel. and the signal was to those media personnel. This is a tank. This is a tank which is 150 feet tall, made of cement and steel. Aapki Adalat, one renowned journalist, 9 p.m. prime time. This tank contains 1.5 lakh liters of liquid oxygen. And he said I was stealing this, and everybody believed. Arnav Goswami, sir, times now. 70 बच्चों का कातिल, Vice Principal Dr. Kafeel Khan. I have put my appointment letter here. 8th of August 2016 I joined. How could I become vice principal? To become a vice principal you need to be 40-year-old, 10 years of experience. So when I filed the RTI and asked who is the vice principal, the Yogi government answered there is no such post. So such was the lies. The mainstream media sitting in Mumbai and Delhi, they didn't come to Gorakhpur to find out who is Dr. Kafeel. They just pick up the story from the social media platform. They made me superintendent, they made me head of the department. FIR was lodged. I was in prison for 9 months. I wrote a letter. I am talking about judiciary also. For 9 months, judiciary, they never heard my plea that I am innocent. For 9 months. I wrote a letter, a 10-page letter to the general public, and it came out through my daughter's diaper. She came to meet me with my wife. I sent that letter. I wrote 10-page letter and sent it through her. And I didn't realize that letter could be so powerful. I wrote that letter on 18th of April 2018 and I got bail on 25th of April 2018. So 9 months the same Honorable Justice was not listening, and the same Honorable Justice wrote it so beautifully. No proof of medical negligence against Dr. Kafeel Khan. He was not involved in corruption. He was not related to the tendering process of oxygen.